Yeah, man, welcome back to Poetry and Police. Big up all to all my subscribers. All the police officers in Jamaica, big up. All the security guards in Jamaica, because right now I have to big up all the security guards in Jamaica. You know what I mean? I can understand how you guys all feel about, the most recent two robberies in the Portmore Pines area. I mean, why Portmore Pines? And the question is, why the same company, Beryllium? Guardsman, why? I've spoken briefly about it in one of my videos before, and I don't see anybody addressing the issue. I don't see the Ministry of National Security addressing the issue. I don't see the PSRA addressing the issue about the security companies and how they are transporting money, Bridget. And as a result of how these security companies are transporting money, as a result of their operations, make them easy targets, brethren. The money, they are not equipped. Not properly, they don't have properly armors on, they don't have properly boots on. They trust me, they don't have but the most important thing, they are not transporting money in the proper vehicles. I've said it to you before, those vehicles that Beryllium is using are soft vehicles, which makes it easy for them to be attacked on anywhere on the street and robbed. Because trust me, if these robbers were to block them on the street somewhere with those two cars, maybe they would have completed their task the second time around. The first robbery in the Portmore Pines was very violent. It was an attack upon the security guard. It was execution. It was an execution type of robbery. And I would suggest that the second one was the same intent, execution robbery again, because from the amount of gunshots that were being fired, that just goes to show that these men, they don't just come to rob, but they come to rob and kill. And the matter is being investigated by the Portmore Police, nonetheless. Yes, must be the Portmore Police. First it was the Jamaica National Bank. Now it is the Scotia Bank in Portmore, my bank. Can you imagine that if I was there at the time? Maybe I could have, give a helping hand to the security guards, because at any one time there are always police officers in that bank. But you see what they did? They chose a day when the bank was closed and limited people were there. But this is the question I need to ask. Beryllium, this is the question that I need to, because I have a whole lot of questions to ask Beryllium. But this is the first question. How did these men know the time that the cash in transit vehicle would have gotten to the location? How did they know? It's not like they study it, no. I know criminals in Jamaica are very sophisticated nowadays. But how did they know? Obviously, the investigators are not going to tell you their information, which is the right way of going about doing things. But I know by now that the managers of Beryllium and the detectives who are investigating these robberies have concluded by now that it's an inside job. That these robbers are being fed with information. I don't think it's from the bank, because the bank was closed on this day. I would say maybe it's from the bank. Maybe it might have been somebody in the bank as well as the security company itself. But now I have concluded, without a shadow of a doubt, that it must be somebody within the security company. It must be somebody, some information source within Beryllium. And people might ask the question, Beryllium again? It look like a them run Portmore branches. All the banks in Portmore, it would appear as if Beryllium is running those. But Beryllium again. Soft vehicle again. The managers of these companies are not learning. The way I know it, money is supposed to be transported in armored vehicles. People, let me Let me let me repeat this. Money is supposed to be transported in armored vehicles, and that's the way I know that was a rule of transporting money. That any company who chooses to undertake the cash in transit business, I will tell you what it's called, the cash in transit aspect of security, that they must have armored vehicle, because money is supposed to be transported in armored vehicle for number one reason. Reason number one, the vehicle itself protects the property, insurance reasons. The vehicle itself also protects the lives of the guards, because and a criminal, if he's going to attack a cash in transit vehicle, an armored vehicle, he does not know how many guards are in the vehicle. That is one thing that he has to consider. He doesn't know how many weapons are in the vehicle. That is one thing that the criminal has to also consider. Again, but cash in transit, I am not saying that cash in transit vehicles cannot be hit, but it will not be so easy as a soft vehicle, a vehicle that is not supposed to use to transport cash, like a regular motor car, like the ones that Beryllium are using. And for me, it's a breach of the whole cash in transit business. It's a whole breach of the whole transporting money business, because you cannot transport money in a soft vehicle, and that was part of the rules and regulations of security back in the day. I don't know if it has changed. And since the first robbery, nothing was done by the PSRA, not the Ministry of National Security, because the PSRA falls under the Ministry of National Security. I hope that the detectives who are investigating these cases are writing in their reports, in their conclusion in their reports, that they need to stop using these kind of vehicles to transport money, because they fall easy prey to criminals. But we are no fools. Jamaicans are no fools. Detectives are no fools. And the management of Beryllium are no fools. They must have suspected, or is now suspecting, with this second robbery, that the information as it relates to the location of the transport has to be coming from within the company. No. The first robbery left security guard dead, security guard injured. The second robbery, 3 security guards shot and injured this time. But I must applaud the security guards for standing their grounds, for defending themselves, because guess what? They must been, the heightened senses have turned up because of the first robbery. So they are looking for a second robbery. Yes, they were. And that is how they were able to fend off the gunmen this time and not lose their lives. They were shot and injured, but their lives were spared this time. But if they had an armored vehicle, that, trust me, if the men had an armored vehicle, the injuries would have been less or none. Or they may have never been robbed at all. So I beg to ask this question: what is the PSRA doing about these security companies that are using vehicles that are not recommended for the transport of cash? They are not cash in transit vehicles. They are not armored vehicles. What is the PSRA doing about this? What is the Minister of National Security doing about this? Because PSRA falls within the ambit of the Ministry of National Security. What is the PSRA doing? Where is the investigation going? And what recommendations are the investigators putting on these reports as it relates to how the money is being transported? It is obvious that this is an inside job. And you see how it goes? These gunmen are so brawling. They're not afraid to attack security companies anywhere. Whether it be a lonely street, whether it be a busy business area, they don't care. And they don't care who gets shot in the crossfire either. The amount of guns. When I watch that video, I am not even going to upload this video to my channel, because it's so violent, and the amount of gunshots that were being fired. But it's good for people to see how violent these men are. But at the same time, I will not, you must have seen the video by now, my subscribers, because this video is all over social media. So then you know what I'm talking about. Second robbery, Beryllium again. Scotiabank, Portmore, my bank. Can you imagine that? This is a bank where most people in Portmore uses that ATM. So it's always a busy ATM. People are always join, even on Sundays. People join line and they are always over there taking their money out. But it's obvious that these men are not out. They're not after. They were not after the money that people are drawing from the ATM, but rather they were off after the money that the cash in transit, that the cash car was carrying, that the security guards were carrying, because they knew the amount. They knew it was a substantial amount because they were pre-informed about the amount and about the time that the guards would have reached there. Somebody in the guardsman company, somebody at Beryllium is giving these criminals information. And let me tell you something. We are no fools. And as an ex-detective, let me tell you something. It is the same set of men doing the robbery. They are working with one informant or more within the security guard company, within the security company to do these robberies. And they might send different faces, but trust me, I don't think so. One would have believed that they robbed over $10 million in Portmore Pines the other day from the first truck that they murdered security and robbed. That they would have been satisfied with at least the next month or two, but they're back at it again. And that goes to show how much these men need money. But why so much robberies? Back to back. It's not because they need the money, people. It's because they have the information. And why not work the information while it is available? That is what is happening. But the Beryllium Security Company, as people are saying, Beryllium again. The Beryllium Security Company guardsmen, they need to change the vehicles. You cannot allow guards to be traveling with a substantial amount of money in a soft vehicle. We call it a paper vehicle. A vehicle that can be easily penetrated by bullets. You cannot transport money in those kind of vehicles. The vehicles must be an armored vehicle that can repel gunmen and repel bullets. Then the guards could have easily jumped in the vehicle when they are attacked. And the vehicle alone would provide coverage for them. Stop them from being injured. Stop them from being killed. The PSRA need to get on top of this, because any company who are embarking on the transportation of money, especially to banks, or especially money of a certain amount, that they need to have armored vehicles. It should be a must. Back in the day, it was a must. So I don't know if that rule as it relates to transporting money has changed. But if it has, then we need to go back to that rule. And the PSRA need to ensure that every company that is applying to transport cash should have the relevant vehicles. And the security guard should be equipped with the relevant equipments. And that the right amount of security guards must be attached to any vehicle transporting money. Brazen robbery in broad daylight in Portmore Pines. Bystanders could have been shot. A whole lot of people could have been injured from what I saw on that video. And the questions we're asking are like, did the vehicles that these men used to do the robbery, they value more than the money that the security is carrying? Let me tell you something. Once those vehicles are stolen, they're not valued anything anymore. Because these men, when the vehicle are stolen, like I had a video before with this boy Chin who bought stolen vehicles. When a man thief your 1.5 or your $2 million vehicle and 30,000 him sell it for, it has no value once it is stolen. If it is scrap, then they make more money off of it. But these boys, they're not the ones who scrap the vehicles. They steal the vehicles and they have somebody that receive these vehicles as soon as they are stolen, and it that has a chop shop, and the vehicle is chopped. And most of some if not all of these used parts dealers you see around the Kingston area, they are selling back parts of your vehicle, even back to you. Because they take the parts from the vehicle that does not have numbers, serial numbers, like the doors, the wheels, you know what I'm talking about. But they do not use the engine block because it carries a number. The chassis carries a number, so that part of the vehicle is also abandoned. So everything else can be scrapped and sold, and they make a whole lot of money by scrapping a vehicle. So the vehicles have no value. So, you know what I mean, those vehicles just stolen to do the job. And after the job was done, they always abandon them, or they sell them to a chop shop for 20,000-30,000 to make a little extra money after they have done their robberies. So that's how it goes. But these criminals in Jamaica nowadays are very organized, and they're not under a whole lot of pressure like they were in past years, because the police is kind of holding back when it comes to strenuous policing these days, because everybody is watching their pension, and everybody wants to keep their job to take care of their families. So that is a part of the whole thing too. But I hear people are saying that some of these robbers could be police officers. I'm not saying that is not impossible. I'm not saying that is not. It could be, because police have done that in the past. So I'm not going to say, I'm not going to defend the Jamaica Constabulary Force members that no, they were not involved in the robbery, but I'm not going to say they were involved either. So you have to be careful what you say sometimes, you know what I mean? Yes, police could be involved, but that is to show nowadays how the police are valid in Jamaica. And because police are getting themselves involved in a whole lot of different type of crime, so anything happen nowadays, it is always suspicious that the police was involved in the incident. And this is because of some thieving criminal police who exist in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Some police who go out there and rob and thief and kill and collect money for kill people. And to make it even worse, you know what I mean? There was an article in the Observer that a retired senior superintendent Renito Adams was talking about salary of police officers, and police officers are not being properly paid. Yes, we know police officers are not being properly paid, and it's not just now. It has been years since police officers are not properly paid. I can remember when I was a police officer. Sometimes we have to borrow money if you survive. You can barely make your bills at times because you owe money you have to pay. You owe for your car, you owe for a whole lot of stuff, you owe for clothes. You know, you have people with credit with clothes and all that stuff. So you pay, sometimes you get your pay and nothing left. But I believe, not as a policeman, but as a person, a regular person, that you should always live by your means. Jamaican old people always say there's an old proverbs that says that no hang your basket more than where you can reach. And I have always believed in that. I no hang my basket more than where I can reach. So I always live within my means. So I never need to rob and thief anybody. You understand? So what Mr. Adams is saying, that, you know, when you do not pay police officers, then it opens doors for corruption. And police, as a result of this, police will be involved in corruption. No, I don't believe that, Mr. Adams. I do not support that. So are you saying to me, to the Jamaican people, Mr. Adams, that if you were not being paid properly, that you would have been involved in corruption? Are you saying that, you know, police officers, because we are not paid properly, that we will turn to corruption? I don't believe that if we are not paid properly, we are going to turn to corruption, because you have a whole lot of police officers in Jamaica. Matter of fact, 80% of the Jamaica Constabulary Force are not involved in corruptions, and they are living off the same pay. Especially if you're a married person, especially if you have a partner, then your salary can work. If you do not have a partner, then your salary can work. Worse, if you don't have any children, then your salary can work for you, because it's just you. When you have kids, it's harder. But when you have kids and you have a mother and a father in the household, then your salary will work. And there are a whole lot of legal issues, legal hustling that a policeman can always do to make money. I used to do it. Legal hustles. I never need to rob and thief and kill anybody for money to cover my bills at the end of the month. I had legal ways of making a little extra on the side. And nobody can stop me. And when them talk about, oh, police must not move, like, I did not care what they want to say. But once there's a legal hustle, I will be on it to make that extra money. But the Jamaica Constabulary Force was just not paying enough money. Sometimes you find yourself with bills piling up on you. You have to hustle, but you do not have to thief. Because let me tell you, you don't have to rob and you don't have to kill nobody and you don't have to thief. Because guess what? If you consider yourself a decent person, say, throw the police thing. Because it doesn't have to deal, it doesn't have nothing to do with whether you're a police or not. Once you're a criminal, you're a criminal. And it is very shameful to say that some police officers are criminals. You understand me? So, I'm not going to rule out the thing 100%. So it's not police doing the robbery. Because, yes, based off the actions of police officers previously up until now, we have now concluded that police officers are robbing people. Are robbing people like criminals on the street. That some police officers are acting like criminals, or some police officers are criminals when they're not on the job. They are living two lifestyles. I believe that it's possible. Yes, it is possible. And we have seen it before, so it could be possible. But I'm not going to, every time a robbery takes place, and say, oh, a police. No, I'm not going to say a police. Yes, it could be police officers. And as a matter of fact, the way these men were moving, I don't think they were police officers. I mean, if you go back to the robbery with the Chinese, people with the Chinese were abducted, then those men were moving like military or police officers. Yes, I agree that they were moving in the tactical formation, and the way they were moving like police officers, trained police officers. They were trained men. But this robbery in Portmore, these men were not moving like trained men. So this time I don't think they were police officers. I'm just saying, based off of how they were moving. But Beryllium again, you were robbed once, and now you're robbed twice. Somebody inside Beryllium is giving these people information to rob the cash cars. And the PSRA need to do their job. They need to step up the thing. They need to start investigating Beryllium right away. Them too powerful for you to investigate? You can't get to them, PSRA, because they are transporting money in soft vehicles, which is not supposed to happen. Money is supposed to be transported in armored vehicle. Tell me, is Beryllium untouchable? Is the guardsman untouchable? Does the rules and regulation of transporting money does not cover Beryllium too? And if information is being served on a platter to these men from somebody on the inside of Beryllium, then we will have more robberies in the coming weeks and months. We will have more robberies in the coming weeks and months. This will not stop. Once these guys are getting the information, they are going to work it until it's done. So look out for more robberies. And once the security company is using these same vehicles, then these guys will have no fear, because of easy pickings. It's fortunate this time that none of the security guards lost their lives. Thanks to God for that. And I will commend the security guards for how they defended themselves. They did not back down. Them fire shots, them defending themselves. The driver did well. Watch the video, saw him pull out that vehicle. He did exceptionally well. It was well handled by the security guards, and that's why no money was lost and no lives were lost. Thanks to the actions of the security guard, even though they were not given the proper vehicle to transport the money. They had nothing to protect their lives. I see one of the security guards in our sneakers. What you have on sneakers? You're supposed to have on security boots. That's the thing. All of those things, what? Security thing water down in Jamaica. It would appear so.